Last part two of fixing warped keys, came out with some mixed results from comments that I got. I had two of my friends say, well, I never cut into a key. Well, you missed the whole point. The point is when you're 200 miles away from home, it's not the best piano in the world and you want to fix it and never have to return. This is a surefire way of doing it. You cut the key, and I showed you in the video parts 1 and part 2 of how to do that. But when you do it, you've got to cut. Yes, it's kind of ugly, but reread what Ron Nosselman said. Yes, it's a little bit ugly, but it's permanent and it takes 10 minutes. Now, I'm going to show you today part 3 of how to fix warped keys without cutting. I guarantee you, if you do 5 of these outside in somebody's house by just bending the key, you're probably going to return on 2 of those, or 1 of those anyway. Even if you overkill and bend it farther, it will warp back. But some of them, wood is different. It just does different things. So you might come back and have to do that job again and drive the 100 or 200 miles to that person's house. Now, the way I do it in a home, or actually even in my shop, is I have a vise, and I have it clamped to a table, and this part right here is part of a pin block with a vise on it, and I can take this into the person's house. But I also have a wet rag, hair straightening iron, this clamp to clamp it here, and then of course I have another little clamp attached to the key so I can move it. So this is what I do when I want to take a twist out of the end of the key, is I can bend it while putting my cloth on with the water and with the hair straightener, and I can bend it, and remember to hold it. After you take it off, hold it so you kind of overkill on it, overbend it a little bit, and then cool it off by blowing it a little, and then it's easy to back it up just a little bit. So that's how I do it in the field or even at home. I use this little device here. Wet your rag, and make sure it's a rag that will get a lot of water in it. Put it on where you want to bend it, and let's say that I need to bend the key this way to unwarp it. I'm going to lay the rag across there, and I'm going to put the iron on it, and sometimes I will grab it from the bottom. Watch out for the steam, it's a little hot, so I grab it from the bottom here. As I put this on here, I'm giving it tension. This clamp here is helping me give it a little bit of tension. I felt it. I felt it release. I'm going to go a little farther than I need to. And I felt it bend, and I'm going to take it up, hold it with my hand here, take the cloth off. You can blow on it if you want. That will help a little bit. And I guarantee you that's warped way, way more than it should be. But at least I want to show you how to do that. It's a simple way to bend it. So the next thing, we dealt with the warp this way. What we're going to deal with now is if the end of the key needs to go one way or the other. And what I built is this jig here. The key basically is going to go in here, and I've got some clamps that will clamp and push it one way or the other. Now, these are simply made from, I can't remember, these are the clamps for old ivory clamps that I never use. Don't use those for ivory. They're not good. But anyway, I put this on here. That way I can move this wherever I want it. So if I want to warp this here, I can push it there. Anyway, I'm going to show you how to do this. Basically, I take the key, put it wherever I want it to bend. I get these big clamps. Okay, so I'm going to put these big clamps on here like this and put quite a bit of pressure on that. Now, there's quite a bit of pressure pushing this way. Then I'm going to take the same rag. This time I'm going to put the rag here, and I'm going to heat that up. That will bend the end out this way. You see, you can put it, you can feature this or put it wherever you want. So in summary, if you want to bend it back and forth this way, you would use something like this. Clamp it in and push it one way or the other. And if you want it the other way, you know, you'd go this way and it will move the other direction. And then we talked about at the beginning of the video how to tilt this from side to side. So that's the way you can do it very easily. But the key to it is this hair thing that I stole from my daughter. Or actually, no, she might have even given it to me. But this is a wonderful tool to have, and it says it goes up to something like 400, and yeah, it says 410 degrees. And you'll see it steaming like crazy, and you'll feel that key relax, and all of a sudden you realize it's bent. Make sure you go a little farther, because it's real easy to reheat it and go back the other direction a little bit.